started. I know Chris is on his way. He'll be here soon. We can at least get the ball rolling while we wait for him. So let's go ahead and start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, Dave. All right, do we have a volunteer this week for an invocation or a motivational phrase? I don't see any hands, so I've got a motivational phrase today, and it is, almost everything will work again if you unplug it for a few minutes, including you. And that's from Anne Lamott.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so our speakers today are our very own Josh Werner and Chris Richie. Josh waves hello. I don't have any birthdays to announce this week, and I don't see any other visitors. I'm scrolling through here. All right, so volunteer opportunities.
Rachel Stevens here, our Lieutenant Governor.
Yes, oh my gosh. See, I just feel like he's one of us. Welcome, Steve. We're glad to have you.
No problem. Glad to be here.
All right, and yeah, hopefully we can be in person later on this month. I don't think it's likely, but it would be nice if we could see you in face to face.
Well, actually, we canceled our New England trip, so if it doesn't work out on the 15th, I might be able to be there the 22nd or 29th or even into October just to be there.
Okay. All right. Okay, so volunteer opportunities. Earl, do you want to talk about the Kiwanis Food Project?
Sure. I sitting here filling my mouth full of my watermelon. I'd like to really have people think about the number 700, because that's the number of pounds we want to collect in the next collection cycle, which ends at the end of September. So if you have friends, if you have neighbors, if you have a spouse that wants to get rid of some stuff in the counter, in the cupboard, this is a good time to do it. Roland and I are going over to Chuck's place next Friday to deliver the award for Kiwanis of the month for their group's activities to collect food for us. So we really appreciate that. So that's what we have. Thank you. Remember the number 700.
Thank you, Earl. Okay, does anybody want to announce anything for Oktoberfest?
I'll just say, please advertise the link for the silent auction. The activity on the auction has gone down dramatically. It's been like 2 days since somebody bid on something. We have about $1,100 in bids already, 28 bids, but it just kind of stopped. And I think we need to really promote it, send it out through your distribution lists or any way you have to get people to go in and look, because there's some really cool stuff in there now.
Does it update you if somebody outbids you on an item?
Yep. Immediately okay. you get an email quickly.
Okay. All right, nice. And let's see, how are we doing on volunteers for the event?
Guys, we're doing pretty good, but we're only about 50% full. So we still need a lot of people for gate work. So I think at this point we need to start asking our spouses and friends to help. Hannah did send it over to Rotary and we haven't heard back from them. But definitely the gates are our biggest hole right now. So we definitely need some gate monitors, just to help us check IDs and check people in, take money from the square, those kinds of things. So if we could have 4 in the front gate, that's ideal, just because it takes that many people to get through the line. And then our back gates are almost completely empty. So is John shared? Can you guys see that on John's screen?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you can see there's lots of room for gates. And then we do still need some beer pouring. It looks between 2 and 4.
Yeah. We need some, Dan Tippy's going to need some help as well for the big people thing. And then it does look like we need some, like Michelle said, this 2 to 4 range with the gates. Could use a little bit, and then our back gates as well. So we just got some holes we need to fill. It looks like we're good on setup and takedown, which is going to be great.
Thank you guys for that. Yeah.
But we just need some help. You can see it. We can't have Don there by himself the whole time. We can't have Nicole by herself the whole time. So we just need a couple more people to kind of fill those holes. So does anybody see that? I guess the question we have is, did we miss anybody? Did anybody say, hey, I signed up and I don't see my name?
I got a question. I signed up for the morning setup. It doesn't look like I'm on there for the morning setup.
So you're over here?
No,
yep, you're in slot number 7 for morning setup, Dave.
Right there, Dave.
Well, where's the morning setup? Well, I see
right over here. Can you see my mouse?
The far left
I was
column.
just looking across the way. Okay. Good.
Yep.
Okay.
Morning setup, Sunday morning takedown, and then this blue area is where the event, the whole day event is. So.
Yeah. So, and I have been in contact with every Kiwanian from our email roster. So, so again, we really need to start asking friends and spouses if they can help us. All right.
Okay, I'll stop sharing. Please email Michelle directly or email or text Michelle directly if you have any updates or people to add.
Thanks, guys. I'm listening.
Okay, thank you. All right, so I've got one person I just checked on. She says that she thinks she signed up for setup, but I didn't see her name. It's Marion Winter. But she thought that she'd put her name down to help set up. Okay.
Who was that, Rachel? I apologize.
Marion Winter.
And did you say where or when and where?
She said setup.
Setup. Okay. Okay. Can you add Marion?
Sure.
Marianne or Marion?
Yep. It's I sent it to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And then I can double check and see what time slot she thought she signed up for. I know we were having some trouble with the Google Doc for a little bit, so.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. All right. And any other announcements? I've got one more. I don't see any hands. Okay, so my final announcement for today is that we do still have an officer position available. So if you're interested, or if you would like to nominate somebody, please let Earl Fisher know, or myself. I know we've already talked to a couple people. We've got some declines, but we really need to get that position filled, preferably sooner rather than later, because I would like to hold a meeting with all the incoming officers before they get started. So, all righty. Okay, so next up is Happy Dollars. Who's happy today? Make sure you wave your hand at me. Okay, Carl, I see you.
We made a trip to Puget Sound this weekend to visit our older daughter and her family. We had a great visit. However, traffic getting there was horrific. Doesn't make us want to return as fast as we think we should.
Hi, Linda.
Hello.
All right, we're doing happy dollars right now. So anybody else happy? All right, John Bruce, I see you, and then Amber.
Okay, first of all, this will be $10, John, to build me up to. I haven't been to 3 meetings, so 3 of those dollars will go towards that. And then the next thing, it's going to take a little time to tell, but please let me do it. I got an email from a former student about another former student. About 45 years ago, a fellow by the name of Craig graduated, and he told me that he wanted to go to college, but he wasn't going to be able to. And he said, I want to talk to you because you're the only faculty member that's ever been in the Army. So we talked about it. I said, listen, I'm sure you'll go to college sometime. So when you do, give me the receipt of your most expensive college book and I'll buy that for you just to let you know I'm thinking about you. Well, 13 years later, I got a call from him, actually an email that said, yes, I finally graduated with a master's degree in engineering after 13 years. And he said it was kind of fun. My 6 children cheered me as I went across the stage to get my final diploma. And then he said he went off the stage and for 13 years had been carrying around the receipt that he was supposed to send to me. He took it out of his wallet, burned it up, and took to his kids and said, this receipt has done what it needed to do. Now I owe him $50. I got to find him some way to get that afterwards. The next thing, these will be quick. There was a tent. I'd gone tent camping, I think, about every year for 75 years since I was 8 years old. And I've missed about 5. So since we didn't go last year, I went out and bought a little tiny tent and I camped out in our backyard like I did when I was a kid. Kind of brought a smile to my face to think what I was doing. And then I made several meals for my wife. She and our daughter and our granddaughter were having an outing at the beach. And it just brought a smile to my face to see how appreciative she was. 2 other things. I had a friend that I met in physician assistant school at the University of Colorado about 40 years ago. And last year she sent me a Christmas card, first time in I don't know how long. And about last week, 2 weeks ago now, she showed up on our front porch. She did not have my phone number, but she had my address. She and her husband were here in the area, volunteering to shuffle fire equipment from one fire to another. And it was just a great smile to see her for after almost 50 years, I guess. And then finally, our daughter visited us twice in the last 2 weeks. Great fun. Thank you for giving me the time here.
Thank you for sharing, John. All right, Amber, you're next.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to do 20 today. I'm super excited. My daughter's coming up from California this weekend. We're going wedding dress shopping on Saturday. So I am super excited for that. And that's it.
Yay. All right. Okay. Anybody else? Make sure you wave your hand because I can't always. Okay, Earl.
I have $2. I'm real happy that school starts next week. And I'm real happy that I don't have to worry about it.
John Duff.
I'll throw in a couple dollars. Football starts first game this Friday. Excited about that. Defending champions for our league, and we play Central over near Independence to start the season with. So really excited about that. Also excited, Olivia's going to be going to school here in about 20 days. We're eager to have her take that next step. And then also kind of a quick funny story. I think I told you guys we were all in the San Juans about a month ago and had a great trip, but I took one of those vacuum pack things that you can vacuum pack your food with, because we were in the event that we caught some fish or crab that we'd want to seal it up real quick. Well, we ended up eating it all, so we didn't have anything to vacuum pack, but the vacuum pack thing got left on the boat. And I called 3 different times to let them know, and they said they searched and searched and couldn't find it. I'm like, well, I know exactly where it is on the boat. And the 3rd time they went and found it, well, this is after the boat had gone out 3 more times that we had rented. So the boat had been out, done 3 more trips, and finally they found it, mailed it to me. So I was happy to get the thing back. So, yeah.
That's quite the story.
Yeah.
All right, Hannah.
My opinion is they didn't really look that hard the first couple times.
Oh,
Yeah.
probably. Okay, Hannah, and then Ann.
Well, mine's kind of similar to John's. I hope that next week I'll have a happy dollar. But right now I mislaid my glasses and I can't drive. It's been 4 days. So I'm cleaning the house, downsizing, just hoping that underneath some of this stuff, my glasses will show up. And the cleaning the cleaning person is coming tomorrow. Maybe she will. Otherwise, I'll go get new glasses. I'll put in a couple for that, and I'll actually pay up maybe.
Hannah, I have a confession. I've lost my glasses too. So we're in the same boat.
Well, Hannah, if you had a smartphone, it would tell you where they are.
She just doesn't know. All right, Ann, you're next.
Okay, well, I'll put in $5. Frank's been gone for 3 days visiting some friends of his up in the San Juans. And that's been good, but I'm happy to have him coming back in 3 days because without him around, I've been working my tail off. And I'm going to relax a little bit when he gets home. So that's it.
Was that $5 you said?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
All right, I don't see any more hands. I think we got everybody. Okay, my joke today is, how do you make holy water? Can anybody tell me, how do you make holy water? No Googling it. All right, I'll tell you the answer. Is you boil the hell out of it.
Oh, that's bad.
All right. Okay, so we are ready for our program speakers now. So Josh and Chris, take it away.
I thought that was pretty funny, Rachel. All right. Well, I don't know. Chris looks to be here, but I don't know that Chris is here. So I'll kind of just start. And if he...
I'm here, Josh.
Perfect. Okay. I'll go ahead and start. Dave, I did send Dave a quick PDF that he'll put up on the screen here. And Chris and I will talk to you guys. But basically, what we're here to talk to you guys about today is qualified charitable distributions. And basically what those are it's a tax efficient way for a person to donate money to a 501c3. And Dave, if you want to share that anytime.
I'm having a problem showing it. It just shows the whiteboard.
Oh.
Yeah, well, it got it.
Share.
I can't show your PDF on.
I can probably share it, Dave. Yeah, Chris, if you've got it handy, that's fine. Yeah. Can you see that, everybody?
Yeah, that's good.
Yes.
Yeah, that looks good, Chris.
Yes.
It's big. Maybe shrink it down if you can. There you go. So generally, this concept comes into play when someone who's taking required minimum distributions or is 70 and a half or older wants to make donations to a charity. I see this a lot with clients that are taking required minimum distributions that tithe to their home churches, whether it be weekly, monthly, whatever it is. They can use some of the required minimum distribution and gift those dollars without paying tax on them. So if you think of a traditional IRA, it will be my example, and Chris, feel free to chime in anytime. But if we look at a traditional IRA, all the dollars that went into that account are pre-tax. So what that means is when you take the money out later in life in retirement, you're going to pay some tax on those dollars. Now, if you choose to donate those dollars, give them to a charitable distributor or to a charity of whatever sort, but a 501c3, you get an opportunity to forego paying tax on those dollars and gift the entire pre-tax amount of your discretion to that charity, up to $100,000 a year. This PDF flyer here does kind of give some specific eligibilities and limitations and benefits and things like that. But you know, specifically, we wanted to mention the Kiwanis Foundation as an excellent place to potentially gift. And if you already are gifting and you're of the age of required minimum distributions, this is a very effective strategy to give more money without any additional tax consequence. Chris, did I leave anything out?
Well, no, I think just it's swapping how people normally give to a charity by taking it out of money that's never been taxed. So you're able to use your money for your wishes 100% tax-free. And again, the foundation is a 501c3, so that's something that they could accept. Qualified charitable donations. One thing to keep in mind is the CARES Act did allow for an additional deduction, even if you don't itemize last year, but that also carried over for this year. And John Duff, one of the things that we've talked to some clients about, I'll have to call on the CPA in the room because I can't give tax advice. But oftentimes we see people double up. Maybe they want to, use, a larger amount to gift so that they can take advantage of itemizing every 2 years. They may give a small amount and then do a larger amount the following year just to take advantage of a further deduction on their taxes. But yeah, this is a good tax efficient way to gift to a charity, i.e. the foundation, and satisfy your legally required obligation to take money out of a pre-tax IRA or 401k or 403b.
Yeah, I think to put real dollars to it, just to kind of give an example, if you have a required minimum distribution, or say you're 70 and a half and you're not ready to take a required minimum distribution yet, but still would like to take a distribution, if your distribution is $10,000 after tax, for round numbers sake, you might net $8,000. And if you're just going to gift that away anyway, you can do this QCD method and take the full $10,000 and donate that away without having to pay that $2,000 in tax. So it's an extra $2,000 in that scenario to that nonprofit of whatever your choosing is. So yeah, I mean, to Chris's point, very tax efficient, very tax efficient. It's a pretty quick concept. I don't know.
One thing I'll add too, that we've found that those people that do that, they found out they actually keep their taxable income and their modified adjusted gross income lower. So things like Social Security income may not be as taxed as it would as if you claim that IRA as income.
Right.
Also, we find that like if you're deducting your medical expenses, if you're treating that IRA as taxable income, you may not get the full benefit or as big a benefit deducting your medical expenses as you would if you just did the straight transfer. So it works out to be, you might get a little bit more bang for your buck by doing it this way versus doing it the way that we've always done it.
And just to clarify, you don't have to be 70 and a half or use an RMD. This works anytime that you would take money out of a traditional IRA to a charity. But oftentimes we do see it in that required minimum distribution scenario or setting.
Mm-hmm.
Questions?
Josh and Chris, I meant to look up and I can't seem to, my computer's being funky right now, but doesn't this expire in 2024? I don't think it was made permanent, was it?
I know other parts of the Tax Reform Act do expire, but
I'd have to look it up. I would, but I just, for some reason, my computer's being bonkers right now.
Yeah, I'd be curious to know that too, John. I don't know that this, maybe it does. I wasn't aware of that. Okay. That wasn't something I knew or heard or read.
If I may clarify, so Chris or Josh referred to the Kiwanis Foundation. So we hope that all of you know that the Redmond Kiwanis Club Foundation has assets of more than $600,000. There are also foundations in Kiwanis International and Pacific Northwest Kiwanis, but speaking as a member of the board of the local foundation, we get a little greedy when we can. And so we would encourage you to pay most attention to the Redmond Kiwanis Foundation. Somebody who took advantage of our organization very willingly were Dick and Kay Keene. About 4 years ago, they made a contribution to the Redmond Kiwanis Foundation for $76,000. And so we invested those funds, and this year made our first allocation from that fund. I believe that went to the Rimrock Trails. And so their $76,000 had grown to nearly $90,000. So we're preserving the capital assets on that. And so it's a very lasting contribution that the Keenes made to the Redmond Kiwanis Foundation.
Yeah, thanks, Carl. I wasn't specific, but yes, the Redmond Kiwanis Foundation is where I would encourage contributions using this strategy. You can use it for anything, though. I mean, realistically, you can. What I mean, anything, any type of nonprofit. So you can donate money to Rimrock Trails. I know Michelle Duff's on the call. You can really go anywhere you want with those funds, and you can break it out and choose. If you're going to take a, like I said, up to $100,000 a year, you can do this with. So you can donate to several nonprofits. It doesn't have to be all one. It doesn't have to be all at once either, just within the calendar year.
Carl, has the foundation received appreciated stock before as a gift?
We have. It's been a long time. So somebody gave us some stock to Willamette Valley Vineyards. And it's been so long ago that none of our board members remember who did it.
That's something we also see a lot of folks that have taxable accounts, so non-IRA, but have highly appreciated positions in, say, Amazon, Nike, some of the bigger names that a lot of people bought 10 years ago that have done very well. And you, instead of realizing those long-term capital gains or maybe short-term capital gains, you can donate that to the charity of your choice as part of your gift. And just to clarify, the qualified charitable donation did become permanent with the 2016 tax reform.
That's great.
Any other questions or thoughts or?
I have a thought. Some people, including me, might feel daunted thinking of those large contributions and even dividing them up. We kind of do it that we do tithe about, 10% the other way to, like many organizations that we support some small amounts monthly out of the account or credit card, and then the churches. Mm-hmm. What would you say to someone like us people that don't have a large amount and we're already tithing to smaller amounts, what would we do to like help out the foundation?
To utilize this type of,
yeah, I'm not sure if we would need it if we're tithing that way to a whole bunch of different ones, small amounts. And
well, I guess it depends on how much of that distribution from an IRA or whatever it is you're using for regular expenses. If you're taking a distribution and living on a good chunk of it, the QCD probably wouldn't work, because I don't know, you'd have to take a specific distribution that was designed for just donation purposes.
Yeah.
If you're taking $1,000 a month out of an IRA and donating 500 of it, that's great, but you can't use the QCD method for the full distribution, if that makes sense.
No, I don't think it fits for our situation.
Well, Hannah, it may, if you changed your mindset of tithing from a monthly to a annually standpoint or something like that, where you would take a distribution and then donate the entire thing, and that might be your tithing for the next 6 months. You can kind of finagle the numbers to work in that way. But yeah, if you're doing it monthly just out of your normal other income, whatever it is, yeah, this may not be applicable. And I guess that's something to say too, is it's not necessarily applicable to everybody. If you don't have an IRA, that this is not going to work, or 401k or any of those.
Yeah, we have them. We live them.
Sure. No, I understand, but yeah, it's an interesting approach, put it that way, because a lot of people are wanting to be philanthropic and they wish their dollars could stretch further. This is kind of a cool way to make that happen to some extent.
Thank you for the information.
Anna, I've also seen some financial institutions that issue a checkbook that you can write checks directly out of your IRA. So you don't have to worry about transferring funds or whatnot, so that they treat that checkbook as their charitable checkbook. So anything that comes out of that, that's going straight to a nonprofit. And you don't have to worry about the tracking piece of it. So
that's what I was thinking. You don't have to keep track of all the donations.
Right. And one of the qualifications, as they mentioned, has to go straight from your IRA to the nonprofit. It can't go to your personal checking. So this gets around that by doing it that way.
That's a check.
That's an interesting idea. Thank you.
We have such a checkbook, but we haven't used it the way you suggest.
Right.
Yeah.
And John, as far as the record keeping goes, how do I prove? I mean, I guess you just have the check copy or however that works, right, on the tax end of it.
Yep. And then you'll get the annual statement or a receipt from the nonprofit, and you can show where it was paid from, and that's all we need. And you will still, at the end of the year, your 1099 will still show the full amount that you took out. So let's say over the course of the year, you pulled out $10,000 and 2,000 of it went to charity, for example. The 1099 is still going to show that $2,000, but then on the tax return, there's a place where you show that qualified charitable distribution being a subtraction. So you're only picking up 8,000 as being taxable. So.
Does that all make sense? Okay. When we work with this stuff every day, I mean, Chris and John, it's not complex to us, but to someone on the other side of the table, it makes me wonder if it makes sense, if it's clear, if you can see how maybe you can utilize that. Yeah. Okay. Rachel, I think that's it.
I appreciate you guys presenting on that. I know it's a really valuable option, especially for some people that are wondering about how to go about doing that. So, all right. So I'd say if there's no more questions for now, you guys, you know where to reach Josh and Chris if you want to do any follow-up or want to talk to them about anything else. So They're not far away. So, all right, so that's it for today. I've got, I'll give you about 19 minutes back to your day. It was great seeing everybody. Thank you so much. We'll see you later.